Senator Barry Goldwater, one of the icons of the modern conservative movement, gave a great quote, repeated over and over again, that will live in history. Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice, and moderation in pursuit of justice is no virtue. That applies today more than ever. Now is not the time for weakness. Now is not the time for moderation. Now is time for extremism in pursuit of justice. And we need only look at the southern border to come to that conclusion. Terrorists, now we know ISIS cells, sex traffickers, human traffickers, drug traffickers with fentanyl killing our children are coming into this country unabated. Biden and the Democrats claim that a bill that the Republicans didn't want to pass, which didn't, in fact, solve the problem. It allowed for 5,000 illegal aliens a day and no real ability to track them once they come into the United States. He says, well, the Republicans wouldn't compromise. They wouldn't do the job. Republicans need to explain that to the American people, that this was a sham bill. Biden and the left want illegal aliens to come into the country. And of course, Biden doesn't call them illegal aliens. They're just simply undocumented people. This tells you what their motivation is. Not only do they want to have these people vote Democrat, that they think that that's going to happen, to then ensconce them with total control of this country by the left going into the future. But the left also wants to destroy the country because that way they can take total control. Just read the book by Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, to see exactly what the game plan is here with regard to dumbing down the country and having total government control. She wrote that at a time that communism was on the rise. Now, communism has become mainstream of the left in this country, and a large portion of this country is now socialist, communist, atheist, in every radical ideology. Couple that with the fact that Biden is not just brain dead, he's not just a tool, a puppet for the left, but he's also a dishonest political hack and criminal, having taken bribes from communist China, Ukraine, and Russia, which Freedom Watch, through his citizens' grand juries and citizens' trials, convicted him of. He got a 20-year sentence. We're asking law enforcement to carry it out. We need to find a brave soul who will do that. He needs to be put in prison where he belongs. But he's also lied about the documents that he took when he was vice president. Didn't have authority to do it. Trump did, actually, because he had presidential authority to declassify them, even orally. But Biden gets off scot-free. The special counsel who's testifying today on Capitol Hill, Robert Hur, is going to cover for Biden. He had to come up with an excuse not to indict him, that he's mentally gone, if not deranged. Well, that's certainly true, but that's no reason not to prosecute him. He can go to a mental institution or wherever he needs to go under arrest. But this guy is the biggest criminal that we know of in the history of this country, short of Bill Clinton. We don't even know everything that Bonnie and Clyde did, Bonnie being Hillary Clinton. The two of them, Clinton and, of course, Biden, are the two biggest criminals ever to occupy the office of the presidency. And now this criminal, Biden, is threatening Israel with a red line if it finishes the job with Hamas. He's doing that not because there's any integrity to that, but because he wants votes from the left, from people who support Hamas and radical Palestinians, not ordinary Palestinians, there are many good Palestinians, but radical ones that want to destroy Israel and see the Jewish people annihilated. He's willing to do that to try to get back some of the votes. So far, Prime Minister Netanyahu has told him to take a hike, given him, excuse the French, an FU. But that's probably not going to hold, because Netanyahu has caved many times in the past, and that's the reason that you had October 7th, and it's the reason you had a massacre with Hamas. It's the reason why there were two other wars with Hamas. I was actually there at the time. Rockets were coming in over my head when I was in Tel Aviv. But Biden will probably get his way, and Israel will be left at risk, as well as the Western world, because Hamas is not going to stop with Israel. They're part of a terrorist network, which includes ISIS, the Islamic Jihad, the Muslim Brotherhood, all of them. They work together, the Taliban. We have a rude awakening coming, not just from there, but also from North Korea, from communist China, Iran, which now is just days short of nuclear weapons. I believe they already have them, and also Russia with the Ukraine and everything else. This country and the world is about ready to explode, and we have a brain dead, stupid criminal in charge who doesn't know where he is unless you pump him full of drugs and get him to go out like a marionette for at least an hour to give his State of the Union speech. Where are the people who are patriots? Where are the people who are concerned about this? Certainly not Biden's wife, who's as criminal as he is for allowing him to stay there and enabling it. But the left could care less about the well-being of you and your family. The left is pure evil. And those who support the left are enabling them. Many of them may not be pure evil, but they're not very intelligent people. Frankly, they're stupid, many of them. But many of them are malevolent. Many of them want to see this country destroyed. Many of them, frankly, hate white people, in particular, white males. That's a fact. But the thing that we're talking about right now is the survival of this country. So I want you to go to freedomwatchusa.org. We need to fight the war with the left peacefully and legally, and Biden and the rest of the criminals, and we need to win. Because if we don't win, there will not be a country left for you, your children, and grandchildren. And if you're young or middle-aged, certainly not for you either. This country has a life expectancy, probably, of only about 5 years at this point, unless we arrest the slide. So go to freedomwatchusa.org. We are your Justice Department, the real Justice Department. We will fight the left. We will win. We will not compromise like Senator Barry Goldwater. Extremism in furtherance of justice and liberty is no vice. And that's my message for today. Please, we need to get bigger. We need your tax-deductible contributions. We need to be your advocate, and we need you to join our Justice League. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, and remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Thank you for listening to me.